You can go ahead and do that. And still, since we've got a nice, beautiful Christmas background, we'll use that for our theme. We have our Christmas music. So maybe you even want to grab a blanket to put underneath your head. You would go ahead and do that. And then just bring your strap, your bathrobe, your belt, whatever you have right nearby you. And then if you want, you can bring your blocks underneath your thighs just to support your legs and to release the pinching on the low back. Or you can, maybe you want to bend the knees and walk the feet nice and wide. So just find a nice, comfortable, relaxed position here on the earth. It smells extra good with all the oils on. So now as you're finding the rhythm of your breath, just let your hands fall down alongside of your hips or either out to the letter T. And then let the back of the palms just rest heavy on the earth. And just start to feel that gentle furrow of the fingers as you begin to breathe slowly and deeply. So just begin to soften into the earth and feel as if for right now you're just melting down into the earth. You start to feel the back body surrender down as the rhythm of the breath begins to rock and soothe you. As the feet or heels begin to soften into the earth, and then the hips. And now the shoulders and the arms, even the back of the palms. Even feeling the weight in the fingertips. And now feel the weight in the back of the head as it gently softens down to the earth. So now completely just let go here. Let go of the day. Let go of where you're holding. And just feel that breath washing over you. And just continue to breathe. So now as you continue to soften in, just begin to invite in your heart's intention as that breath begins to carry you and soothe you even more. So this quote is from Samuel Smiles. Sow a thought and you reap an act. I will get him in a moment. Sow an act and you will reap a habit. Sow a habit and you will reap a character. Sow a character and you reap a destiny. So we get to sow or choose which seeds we sow. So as we begin to watch our thoughts even more, we work to just develop discipline and consistency for ourselves. So as we begin to invite that in, as one of my teachers, Gabriel Hepburn, has once said about dominion, within myself, I have freedom and dominion. I have dominion over fear, guilt, and doubt. I am free from thought that life is passing me by. I have dominion over dark moods and depressive outlooks. I am not bound to past failures. It is up to me to assert myself and claim what is mine. I do not submit to any yoke of slavery or anything that undermines my faith and spirit. So as we continue to rest heavy here, we take with us any pieces of that resonate with us and leave anything else that does not serve us behind. And now let's just start with some nice gentle movement for this evening. As the back of the palms continue to rest heavy, just let the rest of your body rest even heavier as you let go even more. And feel that breath moving to any more of those tight, sticky spaces. And now let's gently begin to tuck the chin so we can lengthen out the back of the neck and just let the back of the head fall onto the earth again, letting the earth support you. So now just slowly draw the shoulder or the chin shoulder to shoulder, just gently kind of rocking that chin side to side. Just massaging the back of the head. And it's as if the earth beneath you is just rocking your head side to side. And now just begin to still the head, maybe finish up that time each side. And then slowly begin to bend the knees and bring the feet to the earth and bring the feet about hip distance apart. And then we're going to go ahead and grab our strap. And if we don't have a strap, just take a moment to go grab one. And then we're going to make that strap. It can be a loop or it can just be a standard strap. So we're going to bring that right to the heel of the right foot. So go ahead and bring the strap right to the heel. So either with a loop or just a standard strap. And then we want to find some extension through the leg. So as we find extension through the leg, I want you to find a place where you can find the extension and you can find ease. So maybe the foot is a little bit closer to the earth away from the torso, or maybe it's a little bit, the heel is stacked over the hip. So let's just start to breathe here. Oh, the dogs are special when I'm out here. And continue to soften into the earth. You can let those eyes stay shut for right now. And now just create a gentle rock back and forth with that heel as it's just rocking gently side to side. And now you get to choose. Do you want to keep that left leg bent with the foot on the earth, or do you want to start to lengthen out that left leg? If so, begin to flex through the left foot. And then we'll bring our left hand onto the left hip. And we'll continue that gentle rocking side to side with that foot. And now we're going to start to still that foot and draw the heel either over the hip or in line with the hip. So you can still find that extension through the leg. And then we're going to slowly just begin to draw that heel over across the body, just across that left hip. So you'll start to feel that stretch through the outer IT band, through that outer right thigh. And begin to breathe your breath into that space as we have control. As even if we notice any thoughts as they arrive, we just let them soften down to the earth. We just release them down. So now if you'd like, you can draw that foot even further over to the left side and maybe reach that left arm off to the side. And maybe the foot falls all the way down to the earth, or maybe you even bring a block underneath the inner edge of that foot. And just begin to breathe. And now grab the strap with the left hand and begin to peel that right hand open. So you can either keep looking towards the right foot, or maybe you begin to look over towards the right hand. And if you need to come up a little bit with the leg, go ahead and make the adjustment or lower the leg down a little. So let's just spend 2 more breaths here as we revolve the body and release the things that we're holding on to, so that we can open ourselves up to receive what we need to receive this evening. Apparently mine is a lot of kisses this evening. So now on that inhale, let's slowly begin to lift that right foot up, slowly begin to draw it up and stack the heel above the hip or in line with the hip again. And then let's pass the strap off to the right hand. And we're gonna begin to drop that left hand to the left hip. Begin to open up that right leg off to the right side now, opening it off wide. And just go to where you feel comfortable. Maybe that foot softens pretty far open, or maybe it doesn't, but feel free to also use a block to support that thigh, that calf. But feel the weight or the strap going into the heel as that leg softens open, opening you up to receive here. So as that breath begins to float open to that right inner thigh, as well as through that hip, feel the breath just permeating through that space. And just notice as that left foot is still flexed, just start to add some more flexion through the foot. Feel the toes reach up to the sky. And we'll just pause here for just another 2 breaths as we just observe and breathe in that loving kindness to our body as we are planting the seeds to sow later, to harvest. So as we begin to breathe even more softly and even more deeply, we take a beautiful inhale and begin to inhale up with that right leg. And now let's slowly begin to bend that left knee, soften the foot to the earth, and then let's soften that right ankle down to the left thigh. And you can go ahead and remove that strap and just let it soften across your belly. So let's just pause here and open up those arms to the letter T and just begin to rock side to side just a little bit. Just massage that low back and sacrum area. And then begin to still that movement. And let's begin to draw the knees towards the chest without using the hands. And now create that rocking motion again, just side to side. Feel the hips even softening and surrendering down even more. And now let's begin to still that movement. And let's slowly begin to thread that right hand between the legs. And then the left hand can go on the outer thigh and hold either behind the back thigh or the shin. And just soften into this space now. And you can either stay right here, or maybe you wish to grab onto the back of that left thigh and just slowly lengthen out the left leg. And maybe you still keep a slight bend through that knee just because the left leg is not fully extended yet. We haven't worked that hamstring, so we're just starting to lengthen it out. And then let that knee begin to bend, let that heel begin to soften down. And then maybe you shift your grip again, if you wish, to the front of the shin. And then see if you want to use that right elbow to press that right thigh open, just even a little bit. And just spend another breath here. And then let's slowly release the hand and reach that right arm off to the side horizontally. And then let's exhale, let the knees fall over to the left as that right foot finds the earth. And then let's all start with that knee pointing up towards the sky. So feel that right foot plant in. As we breathe in that loving kindness and compassion into this space. And then slowly let that knee soften towards the torso. Now send even more breath into that space. As you feel those shoulders continuing to anchor you into the earth beneath you. Just start to let that gaze fall off to the right hand just for a moment and feel that beautiful stretch across the body. And now inhale, rise up with the gaze. Inhale, rise up with the knees. And now let's uncross that right leg. And we're going to use that same strap again, and we're going to bring it onto the left heel. So now let's draw the strap onto the left heel, or it can be on the ball mount, but we're going to practice with the heel today. And then we're going to find the length through the left leg. So begin to find the length through the left leg. And remember, let the heel soften towards the earth so that you can find that full extension through the leg. So now just start to rock that heel side to side, left to right. Just nice and subtle. And just noticing and observing what you're feeling in the physical body in the left side. And now begin to still that leg. And we're going to slowly begin to lengthen out that right leg. Begin to flex through that right foot. And then pass the strap over to the right hand. And then let's slowly draw that heel across the body over that right hip. And we're just going to go right past the midline for right now, so we can direct that breath through the IT band. As you use that exhale to soften and expand the space throughout the outer left thigh. And let's pass that strap back to the left hand just for a moment and reach that right arm off to the side. I guess I forgot because of my dog. And now we're going to slowly let that foot, maybe we let it soften further over to the right. And then just pause here for a moment, feeling those hips stack if the foot is all the way down to the earth. And then we'll begin to pass the strap back to the right hand and peel that left arm open. So begin to reach that left arm out horizontally. Feel free to bend through that top leg if you need to. Make any sort of modification so that you can find ease. And begin to breathe in and expand the space throughout the body. And just continue to soften down into the earth with every breath you take. And let's just spend 2 more breaths here. And then on your inhale, begin to inhale, rise up with that left leg. Draw that heel back over the hip. Maybe move the dogs out of the way if they're in your way. And now pass the strap over to that left hand. And begin to bring the right hand down to the right hip. And then we're going to start to soften that left leg open to the left side. Just start to soften it open. Because before we were rolling, we were twisting to release everything that we were holding on to. And now we're opening ourselves to receive again on this side of the body. Opening the left and the right, representing the male and the female sides of our body. So just begin to feel that left leg soften open. Feel that exhale, just letting it soften even further down. And just feel that beautiful breath continue to rock and soothe you. And maybe you wish to just peel that right hand open off to the side, off horizontally. And maybe begin to look off to that right hand. And just begin to notice as that right foot still flexed. Trying to keep the hips on the earth. And just spend another breath here. And then use that beautiful inhale to begin to rise up with the gaze as well as the leg. Stacking the heel above the hip again. And now begin to bend through that right foot or knee and then bring the foot to the earth. And now let's soften that left ankle down to the right thigh and release the strap. So now just rock your legs side to side, left to right again, and open those arms out horizontally. And now without using the hands, keep them reaching horizontally, expanding that presence within you. As you inhale, rise up with the legs, let the knees fall towards the chest. And then once again, begin to rock side to side. Just getting a little different space and area on the hip and the sacrum there. And then just begin to still that movement. And now if you wish, you can begin to thread that left hand through the center, reaching that right hand outside of the hip, and whether you can reach for the back of the thigh or the front of the shin. And just breathe into this space here and soften and expand. And just notice if you're holding anywhere else in the body right now. And if you are outside of that hip, begin to invite the breath to move to that space as well. So you can stay right here or join me to extend that right leg just by bringing the hands behind that right thigh and then slowly lengthening up that right leg up to the sky. Just notice, observe how it feels a little different here since this hamstring was already a little more lengthened. And then exhale, soften, bend the knee, heel sinks down. Maybe you shift your grip again. And then maybe you can begin to use that elbow to kind of soften open that left thigh, that left hip. And now we're going to just take another full breath here, filling up our lungs completely as we soften and expand in this space right here, right now. And now begin to peel the hands open and open them off to the side, to the letter T. And then exhale, soften the legs over to the right. Let that left foot find the earth. And then begin to turn the knee up to the sky. And just turn it to wherever degree you can find ease. Maybe a little more stretching, and then breathe into the space, and maybe you open it a little more as you exhale. So now you can let the gaze fall open to the left hand as the shoulders soften even further down. As they anchor you here to this space, to this intention, to the loving kindness and compassion that you're breathing in and planting seeds deep within the body. So now start to let that knee soften down towards the torso. And just notice the slight subtle difference in the hip. And just feel that space that's being expanded out through the fingertips from the heart center. As that breath carries a love note to those tight, sticky spaces. Begin to inhale and draw the gaze up. As you inhale, draw the knees up. And now we'll begin to uncross the left leg. And then we're going to take the strap one more time and we're going to bring it onto both heels. So now we're going to bring the strap onto both heels and lengthen up the legs. And you can find a little space between the heels so that they're about hip distance apart. So we'll start nice and gently. And again, just rock side to side. We're going to go a little further open, but we're going to start here. So if your strap is in a loop, maybe you wish to widen that loop or release that loop. And then slowly begin to soften those legs further open into more of a straddle position. And then gently rock side to side, creating even more space in that sacrum. And just holding that strap with the hands, letting the shoulders rest heavy on the earth. Ease and comfort, loving kindness and compassion. As we continue to honor our temple. And now begin to still that movement. Slowly begin to draw those legs back together, stacking the heels above the hips. And then slowly draw the toes a little closer to the head, just a little bit. Feel a little more length through the back of the hamstrings. And then begin to soften, bend the legs, release the strap, and just set it off to the side. And now just begin to grab those knees. And let's just start to circle those knees towards the torso, out to the side, and then up and back into the center. And then let's go the other way. Let's reverse. Send the knees away from you, out and in towards the center. And now let's begin to still the legs and let's begin to lengthen out that body. So you begin to send that body nice and long, lengthen those arms overhead and lengthen out those legs. Let's start to wrap the hands on the elbow. So reach the right hand for the left elbow, left hand for the right elbow, and just notice which forearm is closer to the head. So now let's start to walk the heels over to the right side of the mat. So start to just gently walk the heels over as we open up the side body now. And now start to draw the elbows towards those heels or towards those feet as they reach over to the right. So you can stay right here, or perhaps you cross that left ankle across the right to just deepen that stretch a little bit more. And now direct all that breath through that left side body. As it begins to expand even further into this space. And now if that left ankle is crossed, go ahead and release it. Walk the feet back to the center. Slowly drift the elbows back to the center. And then let's slowly begin to shift the grip. So bring the other forearm closer to the head. So just shifting your grip of how your hands were And now slowly walk the feet over to the left corner edge of the mat or slightly beyond. And then once you get there, slowly draw the elbows over towards the left side. And you can stay right here or perhaps cross that right ankle across the left. And now breathe into that expansive space that you are creating through the right side of your body here. Recognizing how when you are at peace, breathing in loving kindness and compassion, and planting the seeds so later, but recognizing how it feels even more expansive. And just breathe slowly and softly and deeply here. As we begin to uncross that right foot, if it's crossed, draw the feet back to the center, draw the elbows back to the center. And now let's walk the feet in, and one final hip opener here. So if you would like, you can use your blocks, but we're coming to our butterfly pose. So begin to bend the knees and then soften the knees open. So you can either bring your blocks outside of the thighs, supporting the thighs, or perhaps you hold those thighs with the hands, or just let the weight of gravity begin to open the knees open further. So breathing into this space that you are creating through the hips now, even more. As the soles of the feet melt together and the knees fall wide. Reminding you how far, deep, and wide these seeds are being planted. And you can begin to unwrap the hands on the elbows and just bring them out to the goalpost arms. And just let the back of the palms rest heavy in the goalpost arms for this moment. As we're going to start to move those hands. So now let's slowly inhale, reach the fingertips to the sky and let the palms reach towards the earth only to the point where they stop. They will naturally stop, not going all the way down. And then inhale, let the palms, the back of the palms fall back to the earth. So let's just do that a few times as we inhale, lift the fingertips, front of the palms, soften towards the earth, and then back. So just getting a little internal, external rotation through the shoulders. And now let's come back to the goalpost arms one last time. You can go down with the palms and then come back to the goalpost arms. And now draw the elbows in towards the torso. And maybe the palms can find the earth, or maybe they're slightly above the earth. Slowly just inhale as if you're closing a book, close the hands over the belly. Notice which palm is closer to the heart. And then inhale back, open, just to whatever point feels right for you. Exhale, close, other hand comes closer to the heart. So it's as if you're breathing in that love into the belly right now as the hips are falling open. So just let that rhythm of breath here as you're just gently loving on that belly. And just do that one last time, each hand switching. And then reach the fingertips back up to the sky. Draw the elbows back out to the goalpost arms. And then reach the arms back to the letter T. Let's slowly reach that left arm overhead. We're going to peel that right knee up as well as that right arm over and just rest heavy on the side of our body. So let's pause here on the side of the body. And let's stretch even more on this side of the body. So let's lengthen out the legs now. Lengthen out the arms overhead. And we're going to grab that right wrist with that left thumb and index finger. Now send that right palm away as you send that right heel away. So now we're balancing here on the side body. So if you need to, you can also bend that bottom leg to keep you balanced and stable. And just feel as if someone's also grabbing that ankle and stretching you out even longer. And now slowly release that right hand, bring it in front of the heart on the earth. Begin to bend the knees. We're going to come back down onto our back again as we peel that right arm open. Start there, coming back to the letter T, arms. And now let's peel just that right knee open. Come back to that butterfly pose. Adjust the hips if you need to. And just pause here as you expand even more into this space. And now let's slowly draw that left knee up. Start to stack it on top of that right, and then reach that right arm overhead. Oh Lord. And then slowly roll to the right side of the body, and then begin to lengthen out the legs. And now send that right thumb and index finger around that left wrist. Flex through both feet, and now send that left palm away from you as you press through that left heel, balancing here on the side body. So even on the earth, even with our full body, we can work on balancing and staying stable no matter what we're experiencing in life. So we continue to breathe in that loving kindness and compassion through that side body. And now take one more breath here. Feel that pull on out through the ankle. And then slowly begin to exhale, release. Let that left palm float down in front of the heart. Begin to bend the knees again. But this time we're going to begin to press ourselves up to seated. So slowly press through the left palm and find your way up to seated. If you need to, turn around on the mat, not sure. And then if you had a blanket, go ahead and bring the blanket underneath your hips. And then move the fleshy part of the butt off to the side. So now let's find a nice butterfly position here again. So bring the soles of the feet back together. And then just adjust again, move that fleshy part of the butt off to the side. And now let's sit up nice and tall. Let's let the outer eyes soften down as those shoulders soften down. So now working here on our posture, start to feel that gentle lift through the base of the skull, aligning the head, heart, and hips here. So while keeping those eyes closed, we'll challenge ourselves today as we slowly begin to draw that left palm over to the right outer edge of the foot or shin. Inhale up with that right arm, reach high to the sky, keep the length through the spine, and then exhale, soften the left hand behind you as you revolve. Feel the alignment through your body and how good it feels when we're aligned and we're inviting in the peace and that loving kindness and compassion throughout our body and our mind. So we breathe that through our heart, and maybe that exhale takes us maybe a little further, but maybe not. And while keeping that front left hand exactly where it is, let's slowly unwind that right hand and reach for that outer left ankle. And then slowly soften the gaze down, begin to feel the space in the back body. Start to breathe even more deeply through the shoulder blades and that upper back and all the way down the spine. And think about how the mind is being balanced here as we cross those limbs. And then let's slowly just draw the gaze up to to neutral, and then bring our hands to our shoulders and just give ourselves that beautiful hug and that love in this moment. And then slowly release the hands, let the hands float behind you and just look up to the sky. Feel the heart open to receive that love. As those shoulders soften down and back and the shoulder blades draw together. Feel the throat opening. And now slowly exhale, soften the chin down. Slowly bring the hands back in front. And now take the right hand, reach for the outer edge or the front edge of the top left foot. Inhale, rise up with that left arm, and then exhale, soften that left hand behind you as you revolve and you keep that beautiful lift through the spine. As you remember, twisting is lifting, as lifting is twisting. And continue to expand and soften into this space. So every time we practice, we remember a little bit more of our essence. So while keeping the right hand where it is on that front foot, slowly exhale, revolve, release that rear hand, cross it across that right wrist, reaching for the top outer edge of the right foot. And now exhale, soften the gaze down, feel the back body again expand. And even when we practice gentle practices, we can expand the space within our body so that we can be more of the presence we wish to see in this world, because we are aligned and whole. We've always been whole, but we're remembering more and more. So now as the gaze begins to come back to neutral, inhale, rise up, and then just bring your hands to the shoulders, hug yourself again, love yourself here. Feel the heart rise to receive that. And then begin to expand that open even more to surround you as your hands float behind you and you begin to gaze up to the sky as you receive, as the shoulder blades draw together. You feel even more expansive in the chest and the heart. And now slowly soften the gaze down. Let the gaze float to neutral and now lengthen out those legs. And just notice how the legs feel. We're going to draw the fingertips down to the earth outside of the thighs. Flex through the feet and slowly exhale, fold forward to whatever degree feels right for you. So start to send that breath even more deeply through the back of the legs as you feel the heels ground firmly into the earth, as you remember the truth that we are planting deep down beneath you, so that whenever your feet are firmly planted in, you remember. That head hangs even more heavily and the spine begins to breathe deeply through each vertebrae. And just take a moment to cross your hands, reaching one hand for the outer right shin, other hand for the outer left shin or thigh. And then begin to thread one arm out and bring it over across that other arm, just to switch the grip. And now begin to inhale, walk the hands back. Slowly inhale, rise up. And now let's cross the feet at the ankles and come to our tabletop position. So if you've got your blanket, you can set it off to the side or bring it to under your knees. Let's just bring the hands to the earth. We're just staying gentle today. So knees are separate, but let's bring the knees real wide. Glue those big toes together and then let's sink those hips back. Let the head soften down. So now just start to rock that forehead side to side as you feel the weight melting down into the earth from the forehead. As you let go of the thoughts that are not aligned.
Let them settle down into the earth, because the earth longs to carry you, so it longs to carry those things so you don't have to. So now begin to still that forehead. Now that we've let go of those thoughts, begin to seal the thoughts deep in of the loving kindness and compassion as you begin to peel and press the forehead forward on your mat, pressing those eyelids even further down, pressing those eyebrows closer to the eyes. Feel that peace being planted into the thoughts as well. And now let your head rest heavy, let it relax in whatever way that looks like. And now we slowly walk our hands together overhead. Draw the palms together in that prayer position and then bend at the elbows. Maybe the elbows drift all the way back to the spine, or maybe the hands just rest over the head. As we plant in even the good seeds behind our mind, in the back of the brain, all the way down the spine, as they travel out through the tailbone. And now begin to draw those arms back forward in space, widen those hands shoulder width apart. And then let's inhale, rise up, hands and knees, draw those knees back in, and just rock your hips side to side. Just let the hips fall side to side, and then let the gaze start to soften. So as the hips fall one way, let the gaze soften the other way. And then we're going to breathe in a little love through the wrists and through the ankles. So begin to still that movement. And let's slowly begin to walk the hands, drawing the hands so the fingertips are facing wide towards the edge of the mat. And then begin to turn the fingertips towards the body so that you're breathing into the front of the inside edge of the forearm. So maybe you stay here with the shoulders above the wrists or in front of the wrists. Or maybe you lean just even a little bit back. You probably don't need to lean back too far. So breathe in to the inside edge of the forearms. And then slowly begin to drift your body back, shoulders over the wrist or in front of the wrist. Start to turn the hands back forward, and then begin to turn the hands in towards the center. And maybe the fingertips start to turn in towards the body just a little bit. And then just breathe here. And now inhale, turn the fingers back forward. And now we're going to start to tuck one palm at a time. So tuck the right palm, bring the back palm to the earth, and then maybe you lean back a little bit there. Breathe in through the front of the forearm and through the wrist. Feel the space being created. And then shift your body weight back forward. Release that right hand, and then flip the left palm. Bring the back palm to the earth, fingertips towards the body. Maybe you stay there or drift a little further back. Just breathe in through the front forearm, front wrist. And now slowly release that left hand. Slowly sink the hips back over the heels. And then we're just going to bring our hands back behind the heels, behind the feet. And maybe you just lift up one leg at a time, lifting up one knee at a time, I should say. So you can release that ankle. Or maybe you lift both legs up. So choose and do which feels best for you. But breathe into the tops of the ankles and the feet. So you may need to come down occasionally, but find what works for you here. And now slowly soften the knees back down. Let's slowly walk the hands forward. And now we're going to flex the feet, press the toes into the earth. I've got my yoga socks on today. So now press the toes into the earth so the feet are flexed. Let's breathe in through the soles of the feet and slowly sink the hips back into child's pose as we reach those hands forward in space. So let the feet let the toes soften into the earth as we planted those seeds deep down into the earth of that peace, loving kindness, and compassion for ourselves. Now, can you feel the length through the spine as those fingers reach forward, as the tailbone is reaching back in space? One more breath here as you breathe through the soles of the feet. And now start to walk your hands back under the shoulders. We're going to press ourselves up, our head up, and then press ourselves back so that we're in our blissful toes. So we're balancing on the ball mounds of our feet. We walk our hands back. And then we're just going to find a gentle forward fold. So slowly soften the heels down, lengthen out the legs, let the head fold down. So now just feel the length through the back of the legs. And now start to wrap the hands on the elbows and just soften. Softly rock side to side as if you're rocking a baby. Feeling even more length through the back of the hamstrings. And now just gently shift your hands, bring the other forearm closer to the head as you continue that rocking action. So now begin to still that rocking. And let's just start to walk forward. We're going to stay in our forward fold. So walk your hands forward, walk your feet forward on the mat. So you come to the front edge of the mat. And we're just going to begin to peel that left foot back in space and pivot both feet, turning into a straddle position. So just noticing how it feels here versus when we were landed on the earth. So let the hands rest heavy under the heart. Let the feet walk wide as the weight goes through the heels. And then just start to shift your hips, rock your hips side to side, left to right. Start to feel the space that you created with the strap at the beginning through those inner thighs. While keeping the back nice and flat. Let's slowly begin to extend both legs, release through the hips. Just find a nice neutral position. And then soften that right knee, walk the hands to the right. Just breathe here through the left inner thigh, creating even more space here. Maybe that right tricep is pressing into that right inner edge of the knee, keeping the knee slightly inside of, above that right ankle. Sink those hips back in space. And then walk that left hand in just a little bit so you can reach that right arm off to the letter T, or further if you wish, up to the sky. And tuck that top palm, bring the back palm to the lower back. Pause and breathe here. And maybe you wish to lengthen out that right leg here. And then soften that right hand down, walk the hands back to the center. And now bend through the left leg, walk the hands left as the hips sink back in space. And now you breathe through that left inner thigh. So just breathe here, settle into this space. And maybe that left tricep is pressing into the left inner edge of the knee as well, keeping that knee aligned, slightly inside of the ankle, above the ankle. And now let that tricep release. Walk that right hand a little closer to the left foot, and then inhale, rise up with that left arm, maybe just reaching horizontally or up to the sky. So either stay right there or tuck the back palm, bring it to the low back side body. You can stay there or lengthen out that left leg into that full straddle position as we revolve here. And now slowly unwind that left hand down, walk your hands back underneath the heart. And let's take one more stretch here as we reach the hands back in space and we feel the crown of the head reach towards the earth. Breathe even more deeply through those inner thighs. Maybe you start to shake the head out and let go of any lingering tension in the neck and the head. Imagine it's melting out of the crown of the head, down into the earth, as the earth begins to absorb it. And now slowly walk the hands back, forward in space, back underneath the heart. And we're just going to jump those knees in. So just jump those knees in, coming onto your shins into hero pose. And let's just take one more side stretch here. So if you need to, you can bring a block between those ankles and sit on the block. But let's take an inhale here, rise up. Exhale, soften the right hand down, reach over. Let the gaze look down to the hand. Pause here, breathe. Begin to bring that left hand behind the back of the head. Feel that knee or elbow point up to the sky. And now start to look towards the sky or look forward in space. Feel that elbow drift back, maybe a little bit back. And now return the gaze to neutral. Inhale, reach both arms back to the sky. And then now the left arm softens over, right arm reaches further over. Pause and breathe here. Start to look down towards the earth. Peel the fingers open wide. Feel the neck even releasing more. And then slowly begin to bend that top elbow. Bring the back palm to the back of the head. And you can slowly begin to bring the gaze to neutral, and perhaps it starts to shift to the sky and that elbow reaches back. So now begin to soften the gaze forward, slowly reach both arms back up to the sky. And then let's slowly soften the hands down. So if you're facing sideways on your mat, go ahead and face forwards on your mat. We're gonna let the earth receive our belly side now. So we're gonna slowly bring our hands forward. Let's just walk our hands forward to our kneeling plank. Feel free to bring your socks with you or put those on before you come here. And then we're gonna lower down to the earth. So slowly bring the hands under the shoulders, soften those elbows alongside of the body, and then just come onto your belly. So let the forehead find the earth, or maybe you create a pillow with your hands and let the forehead rest on the hands. So let's just gently begin to rock ourselves here into this space. So start to bend the knees, draw the toes to the sky, and just windshield wiper those legs side to side. So now that we opened up the front body, the back body, all the areas, we're just letting the earth carry us home. It carried the back body home, and now it's going to carry the front body home. So start to still the legs, start to send the legs back in space, and draw the big toes together as those heels fall wide to create even more space through that sacrum. So now just start to breathe here. So you can stay here, maybe come to goalpost arms or whatever feels right. But now just let the earth carry you. Let the earth hold you here. And just continue to soften into this space. There's no place you need to go right now. There's nothing to do, but just soften and expand down into the earth and let it carry you. Let it hold you. Because now all you have left to give is that loving kindness and compassion that we've planted deep within you. That peace that pervades you. As you have dominion within yourself. You have freedom and dominion. You have dominion over fear, guilt, and doubt. You are free from the thought that life is passing you by. You have dominion over dark moods and depressive outlooks. You are not bound to past failures. It is up to you to assert yourself and claim what is yours. You do not submit to any yoke of slavery or anything that undermines your faith and spirit. Now continue to just let go, as all will be quiet and still now for these next moments as you rest even heavier and let go even more. And just rest heavy here for just another 3 breaths. Continue to soften more, expand more, be supported more. Now begin to invite in an even slower and even deeper inhale and lengthen that exhale out even just a little bit longer. So at the top of that inhale, I invite you to pause. So pause. And when you pause, I invite you to inhale just a little bit more to show you there's always a little bit more in you. And then exhale it out completely. Let that exhale leave you completely as you let it all go, as you remember what we planted deep within. So now slowly begin to point the toes back in face. Start to turn the toes back to the sky, bending the knees. And just windshield wiper those legs again, just to bring the movement back to the body. And then begin to still the legs. Start to reach the toes back. Start to bring the hands underneath the shoulders. And just lift the head gently. Feel the elbows pulling along or drifting alongside the body. Just a nice mini cobra. And then exhale, soften. Draw the hands or keep the hands under the shoulders. Press yourself up. Sit yourself back on the heels, either with a block or without. And now let's plant those fingertips into the earth as much as you can as you feel that alignment again. Head, heart, and hips aligned. Gentle tuck of the chin. Lift to the base of the skull. And now let's slowly flip the palms to the sky. Reach the hands overhead. Meet the palms together overhead. And then slowly draw the thumbs down to meet the heart. So we plant those seeds deep in the heart that were in the hands. And now soften the head to meet the heart. As we remember with our thoughts, those seeds that we planted deep into our heart. And from my heart to your heart, I hope you all have a blessed and peaceful evening. Together we begin to lift our head, open our eyes, and say, Namaste. Thank you, guys.